Hello, my beautiful friends. We are back, and we have survived eclipse season, and it is now Virgo season. Shout out to the Mechanism, who is one of my favorite astrologers. She writes for a lot of outlets like Bustle, and she has all her own services. She made this t-shirt. Anyways, I just wanted to touch base with you guys really quick and remind you that aside from these lovely free readings that I offer here, I have a ton of different stuff on my website that can continue to support you. If a personal reading isn't quite right for you, though, obviously I have those. I just streamline those services, make them a little bit more simple. You can find all that in the description box. I also have, of course, Siren Gang, which is kind of like being a part of a Patreon. You support me every month, and in return, I give you mid-month readings that include spiritual path, career, and love. And the way that I do the love readings, which are also available for individual purchase, is middle of the month of whatever current month it is, like let's say August, to the middle of September. So the only way that I offer love readings is either if you join Siren Gang for $10 a month, where you get all 12 signs, plus some energy updates written in a Vogue, plus $5 off anytime you book a service with me. Or you can buy middle of the month readings, again, cover love for a full month, and the 15th to the 31st or whatever on career and spiritual stuff on that month, and those are sold individually on my website for $777. And if you're called to donate to my channel, the link is below. I really appreciate that. This is my main gig, you know what I mean? I am in service for a living, and I love what I do, and any support that you feel you want to show monetarily, I would be open to that. It is my birthday on the 27th, so I'm turning 28. Show your girl a little love. Also, like I said, everything is updated in my shop. I did upload some crystals. All the sets except for one are sold out, and I think I have 2 individual stones still for sale. If you guys want to see more stuff like that from me, where I handpick stones and I charge them, you know, at a big lunar event, and I sell them to you, you know, comment below or send me an email. I also have the Siren, well, it used to be called Siren Support. Now it's just called Email Support. That's available in my shop. That's when you get access to me all month via email to talk about whatever spiritual issues you're going through. It's a little bit different than a reading, but it's more hands-on and supportive and direct to your issue. That's only $26. That's way cheaper than a reading. Also, I have custom ritual kits that can either be given to you singularly or in conjunction with a reading. That's in the shop as well. All the info that you need is in the description box below. And as always, I love y'all. You give me so much life. I love reading your comments. And I appreciate anyone that likes, shares, and subscribes to my videos. It really, really helps me out, okay? And now we're into your reading. Mwah. All right, Aries, I think that you're going to be thinking long and hard about something this month. Because there's something here with this Tower and the Fool about how not every new beginning looks like a new beginning, right? Not every opportunity to receive a clean slate really appears to be a clean slate. Sometimes we find our fresh start in the rubble, underneath, you know what I'm saying? A collapse of sorts. It's almost like finding a needle in a haystack. I feel like you're going to have to sort through some heavy stuff. It could be literally like, you might be actually like sorting through storage in your house. Like maybe you decided to finally, you know, donate some stuff to Goodwill, or going through a garage sale. You may be like at a garage sale or something and find something. I feel like you're digging through old boxes. That's the image that I'm getting. You're digging through old boxes and you find something, right? And I don't really think this Fool is even like a brand new start or whatever. For me, this feels like something that brings you back in time, okay, to a time in your life, maybe when you were a child, a time that you were completely carefree, completely. Like, you may be carefree now, but I'm talking about like insanely uninhibited, okay? And the Death card with the Queen of Cups is realizing that you have endured so many deaths, right? So many resurrections, you've gone through so many things that have changed who you are. And yes, in a lot of ways, they have brought you back to your most authentic self, and they have, you know, tuned you in
to your intuition and things like that. But I feel like whatever this is that you find here, you're also going to realize that you lost that spark along the way too, and you're going to figure out how to reconnect to it. The Strength and the Lovers is saying that we have to use, you know, especially when we're being presented with a crossroads or an opportunity to really pick a path, if you will, in life, we'll realize that we have to call on our strengths, and we have to also call on the things that we previously thought broke us, to really find our pure level of resiliency. Wow, I just realized this is almost all major arcanas. So life may feel like it's happening to you as well this month, Aries. Okay? Because Virgo season requires you to get a little bit more honest and realistic with yourself than you probably care to. And that's probably why the Tower is here. Because the Strength and the Lovers for me is saying that you need to really not be strong, like on some like, look how much I can fight or look how much of a fuss I can put up. But show that, you know, there's strength in choice. It's not about what you say, it's about what you do. Okay? So I don't really think you're having any conversations with people about your choices or whatever. There's this new level of embodiment that you're coming into, and it's going to be found, I feel like, in your childhood home, or, you know, again, going through old memories. Something's going to click. You're going to see an old photo, an old baseball card, an old, you know, maybe something that your kids made in school when they were young, like something like that. You're going to see something that is extremely nostalgic, and it's going to like suck you back into time, and you're going to like reconnect with this really, really, really old part of yourself that is going to then propel you forward to have a much, much deeper understanding to the way that your intuition communicates with yourself. And I feel like you may even be reconnecting with a gift that you have long lost. And that is going to empower you to make whatever choices are coming up on you in Libra season, okay? What did I say? Aries, the Fool, and the Seven of Swords in the heart space. Reconnecting with a part of yourself that you feel was stolen from you, right? This can be done through like past life recall, like a trauma recall. Like I call it like recalling like fragmented pieces of your soul, right? And this trauma could have occurred earlier in this life, which is probably mostly the case because that wound at the very least was reignited early in life, or in past lives, right? Overall energy is the Nine of Wands. So there's a hesitancy here, mostly because we're all set with enduring, I feel, less than what you deserve in whatever capacity that reigns supreme. I do feel like this has to do a lot with your own self-satisfaction, where you put your efforts in your relationship with God. And when I say God, I mean the masculine energy of the higher power, meaning not goddess. I don't think you have a problem with feminine energy. Not a problem per se, you know what I mean? I think you're finely in tuned with feminine energy. I feel like this is masculine energy. Okay, healing masculine energy. Because our biggest wound that we come into as souls is our separation from spirit, right? Our separation from a higher power, and then we are given parents, right, that are supposed to then fill the role that God and Goddess fill, right? So in ways that they fail to be unconditionally loving, which is like impossible because we're here on Earth, we create wounds. Now I have 3 cards that are upside down on this deck, on this table, but I don't shuffle for reversals. These were like spinning out. So I have them upside down because I want to address them that way. You know, I don't want to forget that they were that way. So what you're being asked to release moving into September, Aries, we have the 5 of Pentacles with the rune Wealth. And if I can hold it up right, the Hangman. There's nothing left to wait for. For me, this is saying if you're waiting for a time in your life where you're going to have more money, it's like, oh, when I have more money, I'll do this for myself. When I have more money, I'll do that for myself. Now, obviously, if you literally are living paycheck to paycheck, then, you know, it is what it is, and that's a little bit different of a thing. But if you have a savings, right, and you've been putting off, you know, when you're going to work a little bit less and, you know, invest in things that you love, right? Invest in a passion project, invest in yourself, invest in hobbies, do things, you know, take that vacation that you always want to go abroad, whatever it is, travel across the country, see different things. Spirit is saying that, you know, the time is of the essence. And it's, you know, it's important to remember that you have to live life completely in the now. The Five of Pentacles with wealth too is that you may have been waiting for quite some time with the Hanged Man for something to change. Right? And you're waiting for it to change, but I also feel like you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. I don't think that you're 100% certain that this shift is really going to happen. Now, I do feel it will because you're going from the 5 to the 6. And it's funny because you had so many majors in the beginning and you still do have a few, but there's a lot of air energy here. A lot of air. Okay, air and fire. So air and fire together, right, can become a forest fire. Right? Literally on an elemental level, fire is fed by oxygen. So if we are letting our mind run amok with our energy, right? Our passion, our soul, we can easily let things get unmanageable. So I feel like in some capacity your life has, you know, it's almost like one portion of your energy, whether it be your masculine energy or not, just the external way you live, has somehow gotten out of control, okay? And I feel like for some of you, it may manifest as like you project things and have to see and experience what your, quote, issue is or what your projection or trigger is after you've already made it external. So you're learning how to really, really have independent conversations with yourself that never require you projecting onto somebody either. Because I am feeling though, as though that this Five of Pentacles is also feeling like you're just very separated from a more spiritual and enlightened perspective, and that you're going to have to, like, it's not coming to you. I feel like you're having a hard time believing that you're really on a healing journey, that, you know, maybe you've plateaued for a while. Maybe you've not seen a lot of great change. It's like, well, I'm doing this work. I'm doing this work. I'm doing this work. I'm just not feeling like anything is changing. And, you know, with the wealth rune here too, it's important to remember to not wait for things, because being in the energy of waiting means that we're not feeling like we have enough right now. So when you start to feel like that and you're starting to feel like, okay, I've been through enough already. Where's my prize? Where's my prize? You know, remember to count your gratitude and do something gracious, not only for yourself, but for others as well. The door that's not open, that was once closed. We have the Ace of Swords with the Page of Wands. And on the Page of Wands, we have love. So, you know, no matter which way this love is being expressed, I feel like it's important to really feed into your childlike nature. Again, I just wholeheartedly feel like this Fool and this Seven of Swords is not, this doesn't feel romantic to me. I mean, of course it could be, but there's no cups here. Okay? So I feel like you feel like your youth was stolen from you in some capacity, or you're trying to get back to who you were, or the dreams that you had, or how you felt when you were a lot younger and more unburdened by, you know, adult, struggles and having to have all this responsibility. I feel like, you know, you're trying to figure out how you can be a responsible, like, adult while also having a full-blown childlike experience. And it is possible, okay? And I feel like that's what's coming to you, okay? Page of Wands with love and the Ace of Swords for me is saying that you're going to figure out how to reconnect with that inner Aries child that you love, that really spunky, you know, doesn't need to think a lot, just kind of loves and breathes the fire. I feel like this is like a dragon energy, like breathes the fire, okay? And it's going to be clear to you that you've had all the wealth of opportunity that you've needed all this time. You've had the support from Spirit all this time. You just were waiting for things to be like they were before, okay? And it's been this concern that, you know, the other shoe is going to drop. Like, God forbid I enjoy myself too much. If I enjoy myself too much, you know, that means I'm not tending enough to my, quote, real responsibilities. Because if you ever been an Aries that's a workaholic, okay, constantly working, it's low-key worse than a Virgo that's a workaholic. Because a Virgo that's a workaholic, like, that's their natural state. and they get so much endless gratification from working. And it's not that an Aries can't, but an Aries is going to start to get, I think, bitter faster about just needing to do something else with their energy, because they're also going to be hella social. While they're being a workaholic, they're going to burn themselves out. So make sure you're not doing, burning yourself out, and make sure you're not basing what you think is possible for you and your lifestyle based on what you've lived over the last, I want to say like 9 years too, like 9 months, 9 years, maybe since 2009. That would be 9 years actually. Holy shit, that's interesting. Okay. Your current energy as it relates to all of this. The Six of Pentacles in your headspace. The Fool and the Seven of Swords in your heart space. And the King of Swords reversed in your foundation. On the King of Swords, we have protection. Protection has been a popular rune this month. It has come this month. It has come up a lot. So with that being said, if you had a hard time connecting to people, Aries, whether it be keeping friends or, not getting short with people, because there's something here about, because this Nine of Swords came up reverse as well. There's something about how you go from saying nothing to exploding. There's not a lot of room in between that, okay? And this King of Swords for me is feeling like a father figure or an authority figure. Potentially that was an air sign. But I got Aquarius. Okay, I got Aquarius. And it doesn't have to be an air sign. I don't really think it was Libra or Gemini, though it could be. But I am feeling it was a father figure. It doesn't have to be your actual father, just someone you looked up to, right? And in reverse is saying that, you either tried to protect him from your natural nature, right? Or you try to protect yourself from people like him, other people that you met, right? That reminded you of him. This feels like a wound. I'm not even going to lie. This feels like a wound of someone that didn't really tell you how they felt, didn't know how to express themselves. Like, the conversations between the two of you are always like sandpaper. Okay, have you ever rubbed sandpaper? It's like, or it's like nails on a chalkboard. Ooh, I just felt that. Okay? So if nails on a chalkboard can have a vibration, I feel like that's what this is. Okay, and you've been trying to protect yourself from that energy for a long time. And whether this person is here on earth or not, still, I feel like there's something that you need to reconcile with that. Because it has altered the way that you communicate with a masculine higher power. Okay? Because it has left you grappling for power more than you need to. Right? It has created an imbalance of the way that you create mental boundaries, right? So how you have your boundaries in conversation, your boundaries with people that you have an intellectual exchange with, and things like that. And it can also be in the workplace, or again with authority type figures, father type figures, masculine men, right? It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. This can just be with men. Now, on the flip side of this, it's important to protect yourself, again, through using a high level of discernment and not letting your fiery nature run away with you, okay? That before you go to project something, or before you go to say, I'm hurt, you're coming at, my inner child, you're coming at this, like, step back and see if that person even has an awareness of that they're doing it. And that's not to say that you can't come and correct them, but it doesn't mean to, like, guillotine their head, right? It's just like, okay, hold on. Take a step back or whatever. I feel like you're altering the way that you communicate with people, and they're in turn communicate with yourself, because you understand now you really need more reciprocity. And it doesn't mean that when you meet people that are not sure how to meet you halfway, or that you feel are somehow being toxic or dumping on you or whatever. I was about to say that you're going to continue to engage in them, but I think you'll understand too, you can't just be like, you're toxic, don't talk to me. Like, you have to do something about it. Cause it's also possible when you get really strong boundaries to be around, quote, negative people and not be impacted by them. And that's a whole nother level. But I feel it's also time to not let past transgressions ruin your new beginning. Okay? Because the past is the past is the past. It's not now. It can feel like now because we have the ability to like pluck that cord from, because time is not linear. So we have the ability to pluck a cord from a really old wound and feel really trapped right now. But I think you're getting a new perspective on the fact that you can free yourself from any type of deception, from any type of missed opportunity, from any type of feeling like you've just been, I feel like, pried at, like almost like somebody's picking at you with tweezers, like just like picking away at your heart. You have an opportunity to heal that, okay? Spirit's advice for you is the World with Strength reverse and the Knight of Swords reverse. And on the World, we have Home. So remember in the beginning, I was talking about how you might go through boxes or see things or whatever. Something is coming full circle in your home life. In the way that you feel at home with yourself. And again, feel at home with a higher power, God, Spirit, Source, the universe, right? Your infinite home, your be-all, end-all home, heaven, right? Heaven, and whatever it is that you consider to be beyond this earth, okay? Where you come from, your original star home, okay? And the Knight of Swords with the Strength, both showing up in reverse, is saying, like, you just kind of need to take it down like 4 notches, okay? That's not to say, and that's, again, I feel like this is about not jumping to conclusions, not being so quick to kind of chop off somebody's head and kind of graduate from being overly aggressive out of, again, fear that someone is coming at you or fear that you need to, like, starkly defend yourself. It's like not seeing things that don't resonate with you or that resonate with you in a negative way as a threat, and realizing that you have all the tools to still be at home with yourself while other people are in an energy that you find not so hot, right? Because when we're at home with ourselves, when we're at peace with ourselves, we come into a higher level of strength, and we understand that we don't have to, jump the gun and just speak our mind immediately. We can process it and say, you know what? I know this person didn't mean what they said. That's not to say I'm not going to draw a line and let them kindly know that, like, that's not a conversation I want to have with them or that they crossed a boundary. But I don't need to make a song and dance to it. I don't need to come out of my clear energy, right, in a harsh way in order to assert that boundary. And that's going to allow me to celebrate the level of resiliency that I've earned from all that I have endured. Okay? Your most likely energy moving into October. We have the 8 of Swords with the rune Journey and Temperance. I do still feel like going into October, you're still going to be having this little bit feeling of like creating change, especially on an emotional level, right? And a spiritual level is going to be kind of hard. And I think that just overall learning how to be a more moderate person, right? Taking the good with the bad, being flexible, right? Telling a cardinal sign to be flexible, and to be, again, tempered, watching your temper, and just creating a more harmonious work-life balance, emotional versus, head versus heart type of balance. I feel it's still going to be kind of a challenge to you, but just know it's a journey, not a destination. Okay, so don't be afraid of how much, don't be gauging yourself on like how much progress you aren't making, or, if you have one bad day, it's not to say to like give up completely. But the journey is yours for the taking. The path is completely clear for you, regardless how you're feeling. Your mind, though, will play tricks on you. And if you allow your mind to kind of spin, right, with what is happening, what isn't happening, what's been said, what this person did to me, what this person did to me, what I did to them, it can be a lot. And I feel like your head can kind of just be like, like a top, spinning like a top. And you need to take a big step back, okay? And just kind of give yourself the compassion that you wish other people had your whole life, okay? Let's get you an affirmation. Spirit, what affirmation do you have for Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising as it relates to their overall soul path and career for the month of September? I delight in the financial security that is a constant in my life. I move from poverty thinking to prosperity thinking, and my finances reflect this change. Yeah, that's there too, right? And you may, with the Temperance here, you may realize you have to moderate your spending a little bit, or funnel your money towards more healing modalities, things that are more well spent. Like, make sure your money's well spent. Okay. Aries, I love y'all. It's been real. Peace.